harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. I said you're up and I'm up. Y'all now tuned in to the Grind Hard Dream Big Show. Harder you grind, bigger you dream. I got a special guest in the building. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, man.
What's going on, everybody? My name is TJ. I am the founder and owner of Push4Greatness Incorporated.
How you feeling today, man?
Man, I'm good today, man. Today is a good day. Any day is alive is a good day for me.
Okay, I know the sun is shining, so we should too, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
I feel you on that. Okay, so I know you challenge a lot of people on things like that. So how you feeling from 0 to 10? 10 being your highest, 0 being your lowest.
Oh man, you hit me my own move. Okay, hit me my own move. The day is a 7. Today is about a 7 today. Wake up in the right frame of mind, and you get motivated with just being thankful for the day, and not every day is a good day, but today is mentally making it the best day. So
I feel you on that. I'm gonna say that my number's like an 8.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I woke up like, all right, cool, got the rest, got to it, did what I needed to do,
right.
Journal, got my thoughts together, and know what I'm saying,
Yep.
now I'm here. So I'm like, all right, man, let's work. Know what I'm saying? We here. So with Push4Greatness, how did that come about, and what made you want to take this step?
Oh man, Push4Greatness started as a thought in high school. I've always worked with youth through summer camps and volunteering. So it started as a thought in high school. I began to speak more, to do it in college. I went to University of Maryland, East Shore. I always shout out my Hawks. And I was talking to one of my best friends on campus, and he was like, and I told him my vision for it. He was like, yo, that's amazing. Like, you should do it. And of course, what happens is people sit on it for like forever. You sit on it forever, and then I went to grad school, got my graduate degree, got my master's in the same field in nonprofit management. So it was kind of like, okay, I'm going to do this, but then I get to sit on it again.
Right.
So one day it was just like, you know what? The desire was just like too big, and I was just like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and just do it. And I sat there one day and I wrote down, while I was at work, I wrote everything I wanted to put on the program.
Okay.
I wrote everything, how I wanted the program to be ran, what I wanted to talk about, what I wanted to discuss, and what I felt the vision for the program would be. And June 2018, we launched. And then I talked to some friends of mine, two of my best friends, and I asked them, we all go to church together, and I asked them, I said, hey, look, I got this vision for this mentoring program. And the guy was like, Melvin, he was like, yo, I'm with it. Like, when we start. And then I asked his wife the same day, and she was like, I'm in. So with that, the team was just like formed. And then we didn't really do nothing the first year. We kind of just got a name for ourselves, put ourselves out there the first year. And then, like I said, June 2018, we was on and going. 2019, we started to see the fruits of our labor from the work, and it's been on ever since. So this year we will celebrate 4 years in June.
That's what's up. That's major, man. That's major. It takes a lot because, I think, for us, right, we could look at a race and be like, all right, man, I'm in love with the finish line. This is what I want it to look like. But the hardest thing for us to do is start. So, just having the plan, having the vision and things of that nature.
Right.
So you said also that you were big on youth. So you were also like coaching as well and things of that nature too?
I started coaching age of 25. I started coaching. You know, of course, I don't have no kids, so I started coaching my brother.
Okay.
And then I got into coaching, and then I fell in love with coaching. I fell in love with just the passion about it, and then just the mentoring side of it outside of the game helped me to be like, okay, yo, this is a dope move.
Right.
Because the kids needed that mentorship, not just on the court, but outside the court. Right. And then the name came about, which was really odd. A friend of mine from college, so we were talking, and I would, use quotes. And so I used LeBron James got the quote, "Strive for greatness." Right. So I kind of took the strive part off, and I put push.
Push. Okay.
So my friend was like, "Yo, that's the name. That's your name of your organization." I was like, "What?" She was like, "Yo, that's the name of it. You keep, this is the name for it." And it made sense. And I had like this long name for it. I had like Distinguished Gentleman. I had like this. It was super long. And she was like, "Nope, the name right there." And she made like the first like logo. She made the first like logo, stuff like that. So we kind of, like I said, I sat on it for a while, and then my friend of mine, Fred, he designed this logo. You see on our shirts, he designed this logo for me, and he was like, he said, "Man, I see the vision. I see what you're doing, and it's a wonderful thing." And so. But coaching for me is it's a ministry work, because for me, this is my thought process, and this is I coach because it's the opportunity to help young people,
for sure,
through a sport, and to impart some skills on the court, but then impart with them some life skills outside the court. So.
No, I agree. I feel you on that because that's rare.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's rare. I know, like, for me, like, playing sports or anything of that nature, you do want to have that, like, human connection because, of course, student athletes, making sure that their grades are good, making sure that they are making right decisions,
Right.
And that vessel, I tell myself, being who I needed when I was younger because, there's certain things that I wish that I could go back and be like, man, I wish I did that at that particular time in my life. And be like, man, I can't get the time back. Now I'm just climbing and climbing and climbing. Yep. And it's like things like that. So talking about like Push for Greatness and, the kids and just like community in general, what do you feel like there's a lack of, and where do you feel like, okay, great, Push for Greatness is established and this is what we can do?
I feel like that's a two-part question. First part is I feel like the village is not there no more, in a sense. And I'm gonna say in a sense because what happens is, when we was growing up, we still had the village to an extent, where if if one of your neighbors saw you getting into trouble, they would get on you, and then your parents would find out, and then they would
Yeah, they get on you too.
They get on you too, right?
Yeah, okay.
So I feel like now you can't really say nothing to a lot of the kids now. Even if you just out and about, you see the kids, they just you hear the parents say, "Well, you can't talk to my kid like that," just in the fourth, and you're not their child, you're not their parent, which is okay, cool. Then the support in this field, you have to build up the support going. You have to build up the support because not everybody's going to support you right away.
Right.
It is hard to do. And I feel like the work, you have to remember why you're doing the work. The why has to be bigger than the circumstances, in a sense. So for me, doing this field, even with working a 9 to 5 and you coaching, and then I have another business that I run. It's and if I say, I think I would say coaching too, but like you said, it's a lot to do, and the why for me is, okay, somebody helped me growing up, so why don't I do the same for somebody else?
For sure. No, I agree, because I think that, foundation is very, very important.
Right.
I know I'm nothing without, God, my family, and my peers. So it's like,
Yeah.
my family being so rooted in that, my mom, my dad just teaching me so many things, and everything I learned. I'm like, now I see the lack thereof as far as like, the guidance, the assistance, the motivation, and or the education for our youth now. Because it's like they don't want to be corrected, but they need to be corrected, or somebody has to, hey, like, that's not cool.
Right.
You need to do this.
I think
you should do that.
Right.
Or things of that
Even
nature.
with that, I think it's a way that we do it. So a lot of times is, and even when it comes to, I know my approach, some people say, well, yo, you laid back, you do more the chill one. It's a way, everybody has a different way of connecting. You can connect with a person in different ways.
Right.
So a lot of these kids now, they're so used to getting yelled at by, getting told what they're not doing.
Right.
Oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and you're not doing da-da-da-da. And it's like, okay, it's just, sometimes you can reach them by having a simple conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, look, young brother, let me just ask you a question.
Right.
Just talk to you for a second. And sometimes they may, and the approach maybe is different, and they may understand it later on, like, oh, I get it. Now I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. And I tell people all the time is, most of the time, especially with our mentees and their parents, I tell them, I said, you can tell them one thing. I can tell them the same thing in a different manner, in a different version.
Right.
And they will probably receive it from me. And then you'll get frustrated because that's what you basically was telling them.
Right. But it didn't click the way that, you wanted. It didn't register the way that you wanted them to register.
So and it was funny is I'm on live right now. My god brother, who's real, one of these dudes who I admire, he says, a lot of times there are people who's trying to correct them that ain't really on the path that they really want to go, which is deep, because it's like, how can you tell me to do something when you ain't even making the right motives to better yourself?
Right, like the blind can't lead the
Right.
blind. I think
Yeah.
we all heard that before.
We heard it, yeah. We heard it.
Yeah, for sure.
We heard it, yeah.
And things like that. And like, direction is more important than speed. I think, I think you had talked about it, and I witnessed it. I know you were coaching at a game, and with the kids. By the way, salute to the season, salute to the kids.
Appreciate it.
Because I know that it takes a lot of work on and off the court. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
You have to mentally show up every single day before you
Yeah.
physically show up. So
Yep.
kudos to you for that. What I realize sometimes is, when these kids are playing basketball, playing the sport, or doing something that they love, the pressure. The pressure that they face is so surreal, and it may not even be created for themselves, because when they're on the court or doing something that they love, that's just the way that they can just express themselves, like they're playing a game with their homies, their friends, their teammates, or something like that. And then somebody could be like, oh, well, you know what, my son is going to the league, or things of that nature, or like I want him to go to the league, I want her to go to the league, whatever it may be. And then they put all this stuff, but they may not even know that their child is, this is a hobby for them. This might not be something that they have as a long-term goal for them. So things of that nature, the pressure that they deal with, can you speak to that?
Man,
of any nature?
I think this year and I'm going to speak on this team we had this year. So I came on as the assistant coach when they were going into the 9U season. And me and the head coach had a conversation, and we put together a vision of what we wanted for the team. Just not just a short-term vision. We put together a vision for the time we was coaching them together up until they go to high school. So our vision as a staff was in place. It's still in place to this day. And we explained to the parents, this is what it is, and the fourth, and we make it where it's fun, but they're also learning the game and being disciplined through the game as well. So, of course, the pandemic happened and everything was shut down. So we was able to we put together a plan to play in some AAU tournaments and they got a chance to play against better competition. And it made them work extra harder to see the fruits of their labor going into this season. So we explained to the parents everything. Hey, this is what's going to happen. This is how this AAU thing going to work. They didn't understand it in the first week, but by the time that season ended, they was like, okay, we understand what you were saying. Transitioning into this winter season, we started to see where it paid off. We was able to win the division. We went undefeated in our division. We went to playoffs. We was one game out from the championship. But just the lessons that we saw in them this year, that they were able to, the work they put in was phenomenal. They sat there this year, man, and we put them through, practices, workouts, and things that nature. It was a lot, and they bought into it. And like you said earlier, the mental part played bigger than just the physical part.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you got a chance to see it on more than one occasion with our games, and then you saw two games that were really close.
Right, I did.
And the way that they responded, that was not the way they would respond if this was 2 years ago.
Right, and speaking to that too, because I just felt like it was definitely a tale of two halves, right? I know that first game I went to, and I saw the team just fight back and be resilient and pull away with that buzzer beater win per se, and then you guys playing KLM. I felt like that game, and this is District Heights, by the way. To me, looking at it, it was just a bunch of grit and willpower. At first, because you play a game and then you're trying to get your feet wet in the game. You're trying to find out, where you belong, and then it's like, okay, cool, halftime, all right, how you make adjustments. And you guys came right out the gate and just really applied pressure and got back to the basics, like one play at a time, one step at a time, one move at a time, things of that nature. And I saw that. So the willpower and the resilience and the grit, man, salute to you guys for that, because that's what I definitely saw. I saw people just calming down, settling down, letting the game come to them.
And this is just a life lesson I took in that with them is our motto was this past season was brick by brick. We just took it, like I said, our game was, we told them every practice, every week, what's the goal? 1-0. We wasn't worried about the record. We wasn't worried about the official record. Our job that week was to go 1-0 that week. And, speaking of the KLM game, it was, we prepared. We went to, we was able to kind of get a chance to watch the other team play. We was able to just see what they would run and they would do. So we prepared the way we prepared, and then we went to the game, and it was, we told them it was going to be a dogfight. We told them. We said, this is going to be a dogfight. They will not make it easy for you, but you have to be prepared for it. And that week they were locked in. I think that week they was locked in, and the way they responded when they made a run was something that, as a coach, you love to see. They didn't buckle. They didn't like lose any frustration. They locked in. They helped each other. It was games where me and Coach Joe, we really didn't have to say nothing to them. They made the adjustments on their own.
Yeah, because it's like, I done told you a lot of times already, y'all already know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, what we doing? Like, this is your stage. This is your moment. You know it already. So.
And that's the thing where, when you prepare, you really prepare yourself for anything.
Right.
Whatever the outcome is, you can deal with the outcome. You can deal with the outcome. Whatever the outcome is, that's what it is. It's the preparation. All right, did I, then you ask yourself, did I really prepare myself for this moment? And you go into it, you say, hey, I did. And then if I didn't, if I didn't, okay, cool. What's the lesson in it? I think most times, a lot of times we say, well, as coaches, well, you failed. No, I didn't fail. It's a lesson.
Right.
It's a lesson in behind it. And what we tell them is, I tell the kids now is, okay, can you learn from a loss? We had a conversation recently, this practice, and one practice, I said, can you learn from a loss? They was like, yeah. I said, can you learn from a win? They was like, yeah. I said, and there was one kid was like, no. And I said, well, why? Why you can't learn from a loss? I mean, a win. And he said, he gave his answer. And I said, hey, the thing is, you can learn from a win and a loss. I said, there's lessons in everything you do.
Right.
So, it's just, when I say this year it was a fun ride. Like I say, it was a fun ride. It didn't end the way we wanted to, but the preparation and everything, and it's a lot of work behind the scenes that people do not see. So,
nah, kudos to y'all, man, in District Heights, because I know that, like I said, when we first even had the first conversation, you had told me that District Heights was just something that, like I said, the area and just gravitating towards that. And, for me, having a conversation with you, I just looked at it like, okay, how can I help? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that really goes a long way in our community as well. For me, I looked at it like I have to find a way to just continue to, grow, expand, evolve, and elevate. And you are one of those individuals that, challenge me and hold me accountable to, doing these great things. So with the work that we do, sometimes we just get stuck in grind mode so much that we don't even really recognize what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Correct.
just a constant grind, and it's like,
Correct.
man, you doing good? It's like, man, what you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
I don't see nothing yet because I got to keep working because I don't feel like I'm there yet, right?
So,
or things like that.
I was watching, how you go through social media and you go through the Reels and the TikToks, and I pulled up a Steve Harvey one. And he was talking about the measure of success. Mm-hmm. And he says, what we get caught up in, and I've done this, and I'm learning now to not do this.
Okay.
Is we measure our success about in comparison to others versus, he says, you should measure your success based on where you started from to where you are now.
Right.
That's your success. So for me, I look at, if I'm going to say push for greatness, where we started from in 2018 to 2022, we've been very successful. We might not be on, we got this big platform, we got names in the community, and we in all these places, but just the lives we're touching. Right. Just the lives we've touched in the 4 years. The people we've been across, we've met, like yourself and all the mentors, 20, and we've got 20 mentees in our program, right? In 4 years, right? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
I would have never, if you told me in 4 years you have 20 kids, I would have told you you're lying, right? And it's crazy because, and the thing was, I had a goal for 10 in 4 years, to do 10 in 4 years. We're at 20. Right. We're at 20, and we have, including myself, we have almost 10 mentors. So it's just, just to just, as I tell everybody, I tell the staff, I tell the mentors, I tell everybody, you don't have to do this. This work is thankless. But we can't be worried about the thank yous and stuff like that. It's the bigger picture and the why that makes us want to do this. And so
I agree. And that's what I had to tell myself too. And I'm glad that you had mentioned that, because I think searching for the validation, you know what I'm saying, and seeking it so much, that why has to be so strong. Like you said, and I love how you said that earlier, because, in this work, people will see it, they may not acknowledge it all the time, and that's okay. That's what I had to learn to also be okay with, right? Like, just to socially accept that it's okay. Like, the work that I do, the work that you do, the work that, everybody else does, and salute to everybody that does, community works with the youth or anything of that nature, because it truly does take a village. You may not get the pat on the back every single day, but keep going. Yes. Right? To keep pushing, because, like I said, and I think social media, Instagram, right? Yeah. Instant gratification. Yeah. You're not going to get the instant gratification right away for doing what it is that you feel is great doing. So it's it's really hard.
And that's a thing that personally that I'm learning to heal from, is seeking the validation from others. A lot of times, because when we don't get it, it becomes now. I'm speaking for myself. If I don't get that words of that validation from people, like, oh, yo, you're doing a great job, TJ, and you're doing such a great work, and the minute I don't get it, I begin to question myself. You begin to say, well, are you really doing a good job? This ain't got nothing to do, and this is nobody else is planting the seed in your head. Right. This is you.
Right.
I can sit there and be, well, oh, so and so is, oh man, you ain't, and then you'll go into the comparisons. Right. Well, this program got X amount of funding. Well, this program is doing such and such in the community. This program, they got all these kids and this and the fourth, and they're meeting these famous people. Right. What are we doing? Right. And the thing is, it's not, you can't compare. Nah. You have to be in a space where you have to be humble and say, okay, and it's good to give yourself credit and pats on the back. It's good to have people say, yo, you're doing a great job in the work. But at the end of the day, my why keeps me going with the program. For sure. Why are you doing this?
Right. And you have to realize that it's really like bigger than yourself, right? Yeah. Because it's like, this is necessary for, young men to grow, just people to grow in general. Because I think, for us to be sharp, and you always, I appreciate you for, letting me come into this organization and adding value to it, because what I'm already seeing is, more happy moments for myself. So, shout outs to everybody that's in the program, everybody that's a part of it. I challenge more young men to, take the step to mentor. It may not be for everybody, like TJ has said, but at the same notion, just like you can connect with a child in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Because you're still teaching a child something through, your experience, and it's like the things that you saw, and things of that nature. Because I could have, like, if somebody sat there and told me in this particular day and age, like, look, Jay, in 2021, 2022, you're going to mentor kids, I probably looked at them like, you crazy. Yeah. Like, what? Yeah. Like, I would have never thought that, Yep. And just, like I said, I went to Bowie State University, got a degree in communications back in 2017, my bachelor's degree. It was surreal then, because then I didn't even really think, okay, I would connect with you for, impact you for, even do things in the community. But here I am standing, God willing, being the vessel of God and saying it.
It's mentoring. Everybody mentors somebody. You mentor through anything. You can mentor through any, like, coaches are mentors. You may have a mentor that's on a job. You may have a mentor that's in a church. You may have a mentor just anywhere. It's the thing of when you get into mentoring, again, people have to understand, why am I doing this in the first place? And you might see something in the person like, okay, let me show them some ropes, and then the fourth. I still have mentors at 39. I have mentors in different areas, in different facets of my life. I have mentors in personal life mentors, spiritual mentors, nonprofit mentors, photographer mentors. I have coaching mentors who, like, as far as basketball, because I don't know everything. Right. So it's like, look, I need some help. Right. Can you help me? And so it's just, the challenge is, one, being able to be humble enough to do the job, to do the work, and then be okay with if they don't receive it right away.
For sure.
Because it's a journey. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. Mentoring is a marathon. Yeah. Because as we see with our young men, they're not going to get it right away.
Nah, and then that's okay too. It's okay. That's okay too, because I think it's like being a farmer, right? I feel like, okay, as a farmer's job is to, plant seeds, right? Mm-hmm. So for us, we just plant seeds, and it's going to grow over time. Yep. So we just have to be patient and continue to plant those seeds and continue to, remind them and tell them, hey, you know what, great job.
Yeah.
thank you, good morning, things of that nature. Telling somebody I appreciate you, thank you, I love you, things of that nature, because you never know what people are going through. And this is not just, for our mentees, but just everybody in the world, because I feel like it costs absolutely nothing to be the reason why somebody smiles.
And that's, and it doesn't, and I think that, in our society, in our society now is, with people smile for different reasons. Sometimes people's smiles are genuine. People have, sometimes people haven't really smiled, and they're more so in, like you say, well, I gotta get this money, I gotta get this bag, I gotta get this car.
Right.
And sometimes, for some people, just being able to live is just like I'm at peace with living.
Right. Exactly.
And, you know what I'm saying? So, and being, like you say, being able to plant that seed and watch it to grow. And, we've seen young men in our program, it's not like big strides, but they've taken strides to, we've seen them do better with their anger.
Right.
We've seen them do better in just their respect level for adults.
For sure.
With certain kids, their grades have improved.
Yep.
Just having a vision of, and then, one kid in our program, we had our last session. It was in person. It was the first session we did in person like 2 years. And he said, man, I wanted to thank you because you give me the confidence to believe in myself because everybody else has talked about me. He said, you said you're one of the ones that really believe in me. And I said, I'm always believe in you.
Right. And things like that go a long way. Because like I said, even for me, building that confidence, right, this has been a journey,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're going to feel discouraged. You're going to feel defeated. But it's like, how do you stay motivated, right? It's that daily routine, that daily practice, and what you do that constantly, puts you over the top where you don't even look at it like, okay, this doesn't faze me. I'm going to go out here. I'm going to still put my motivational word out because, I need it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know that somebody else is going through the same exact thing. But let me give them the encouragement to, go out there and do it too. So, and that's the thing that I think too. So, building the self-confidence, I could definitely see that with, our mentees for sure. And they definitely have, seen definitely bigger strides in, one, their grades and how they act and their character. What I preach to, youngins all the time, even when I talk to them and see them, even if I don't know them, is just the notion of your character is going to take you, further than your reputation.
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
good.
that mindset that you have to have. It's your morals and what you believe in. If you respect yourself as a person, then at the end of the day, you can respect anybody else. A lot of this hatred, toxic behavior, or whatever goes on is from the lack of the respect or the how-to or how to do something. So I think that Push4Greatness and other organizations, worldwide, reinstall that, with their programming and understand that, hey, this is why we do it, because we want them to have those fundamental skills, not only to prosper as individuals, but, hey, okay, you take this information and as you get older, we're hoping that you can go ahead and pass it to the next. Because that's how we empower and inspire the next generation.
Yeah, I think that that's kind of the vision that I have is, it's like paying it forward, if that makes sense. So for me, it's okay, let's just, if I do this, maybe somebody can, maybe, it might not be everybody.
Right.
It might be one or two. One or two may pass it on and, to somebody else, which is still a good thing.
For sure.
I think that in the mentorship is just, even what we do is it does get tiresome. I'm not going to sit there and say like, oh, if this is this is a glamorous job and because we still have to find funding for the program. We still have to find ways to do things for these kids. And you just want to make sure that they are getting the necessary values and tools to be successful, not just in school, but in life.
Right, because it's hard.
It's hard, I think, and these kids now in this day and age, they're faced with so much more than what we ever could imagine.
Yeah, it's like 10 times worse.
Yeah,
I feel like because just being transparent, like social media, like we grew up with it and saw it evolve, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They got all this access and they don't
Yeah.
know how to channel it. You feel what I'm saying? So they're going
Yeah.
through all the motions, everything like that. And I'm like, whoa, like,
Yeah,
this is
so
10
like-
times worse. You got platforms where it's like, how do you escape?
Right.
How do you escape? And they can't separate the two between like what's real, what's fake, what,
Yep.
what am I saying?
And it's
What's here for me?
Yep.
Oh, this is healthy. Oh, this is not healthy. I'm a vent out on social media as opposed to like writing in my notebook or talking to my friends. So it's like social and emotional skills are like all over the place.
yeah,
And this pandemic has, you've seen it actually derail
Yeah.
socially. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
even having conversations with each other
Yeah.
and things like that. Like they're talking on the internet or emailing. So it's just like a lot of the skills that are derailed and need more fine tuning.
it's the
You know what I'm
way
saying? We
of
have to do
it's
it.
a way of, you know, like you said, you made great points. Like you said, the first one is we saw social media evolve
Right.
from the jump.
Right, for sure.
From Black Planet to MySpace to like Facebook. Facebook wasn't even like, Facebook was meant for just like colleges.
Right.
Then it evolved into, you know, personal. Everybody has their own page and things of that nature on
Yeah.
Facebook. Then you had Twitter.
Right.
Then you had Vine. Then
Right.
you had Instagram,
Right.
Snapchat.
Snapchat,
Then you got
TikTok.
TikTok.
That's
You
what I'm
got-
saying.
So, and right, there are people, even people who are adults,
Right.
that can't separate. That if I feel, and sometimes, man, you can't separate the social media world from your personal life.
Right, yeah, like
And
the
it's
reality.
I feel like, you know, now if you notice, if you go out anywhere and you just see people on their phones all day, like they'll take pictures on their phone, and this is their prerogative. I'm not
Right.
sitting here to judge them at all,
Right.
because I've done certain things too, where, you know, you be like, all right, I'm out. Let's take a picture of the food. We're out somewhere. You take pictures and
Right.
so forth. And this is like, you know, I feel like, and I had to learn for myself is, yo, you don't need to tell everybody what you're doing on social media,
Right, that's true.
because, you know, some people are on social media it's for the entertainment.
Right.
So they some of them probably sitting there, they at home scrolling. Oh, look, yo, Jason going through so and so. Oh man, TJ going through something again. Here you go. Here you go. He going through something again.
Right.
Oh, here you go. He asked for help, asked for some money for this program again. And it's like, you know, certain things, I know I began to, you know, it is not because I don't want to share some stuff, but it's certain moments is not meant for social media to share.
And that's a gem right there. I feel like that's very, very important because, you know, it is like perception. Like you still control, you know, you still like, it's like being an author. Like you can still write your own story. Like these platforms or whatever you have, you know, privacy is very, very important too. Like everybody doesn't have to know anything. And I realized it in the realm, like even going to like concerts, you know, because I go to like comedy shows or like rap shows and things like that. And I'm like, okay, I'm chilling. I'll go to the concert. I'm chilling. I don't need to record. You know what I'm
Right.
saying, the artist performing a song or the comedian
Right.
telling a
Right.
joke, because I'm like, I pay for the experience.
Yeah.
Like,
There you go.
I'm gonna enjoy the experience, and I don't necessarily need to record it. I'm not gonna knock anybody that wants to record it, but it's just like, if that was the case, then you could watch it
Right.
when it drops or whatever like that.
I
So
think
it's just
that-
the way that we interact socially in these
Yeah.
places now is like, okay, like, all right, man, you going to a concert? Well, nobody needed to know you went to the concert.
Right.
I was there though. You know,
I think
and
that-
it's like, wow, we want to be. A lot of us want to be seen a lot.
Yeah,
too.
that's the part for me that I had to learn and get humble by. Because again, like you say, you know, people just, you know, they, like I said, teach his own. This is, if that's what you do, cool.
Right.
And I would get frustrated, like, yo, why are you recording everything?
Right.
Like I didn't have to go see Jay-Z and Beyonce perform
Right.
to the concert. I saw it for free.
Right.
Because 90, 100 people that I know on social media
Did
was
the
at the
same
concert.
exact thing, right? And they sitting there going through the same.
You
exact
recorded the whole show for me, so I didn't have to.
Right.
I got it for free, and I told him, and I thanked them on social media. I said, "Thank you for that free show."
thing. Right.
Because
it's
y'all
like-
recorded it live.
Right.
And it was just like, you know, I think like certain moments, yeah. you can share it on social media. And
Right.
this is what people need to understand too when it comes to just, people say, well, it's my page. Yeah, it's your page. Cool. But the minute you share something that's meant to be private, when you make a private moment public, you can't be mad when people respond or comment on your page.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
It's certain moments where you have to say to yourself, is this a public moment or a private moment?
Right.
And, I know for me, I'm more like calculated when I share and certain things like that, because it's not like I say, it's not meant. It's two reasons why. One is I just, you know what I'm saying, I don't need to share everything with everybody.
For sure. Vice versa, same exact approach.
Two, I have two brands that I'm actually the face of. So I'm a face of Push4Greatness. So when people think of Push4Greatness, they look at, oh, that's TJ's brand.
Right.
That's TJ. That's what he do.
Right.
I can't go out here and be and put out everything and everywhere and I say this and the fourth, because I can.
Right.
I can, but it's not going to help me in the work that I'm doing in the long run. It's not to say, well, you're trying to put this persona and facade up. No. I want people to understand this. We are perfectly imperfect. You are not perfect. We are not perfect. I am not perfect. The thing is, when we post stuff on social media, you can share like, okay, hey, this is what I'm going through and the fourth. But I don't, sometimes you can share stuff behind the scenes of your life that may help somebody.
Right.
But you have to be in that place where within yourself to say, hey, I'm not sharing this just for me or just for like the attention. This is to help somebody else. This may be able to help somebody else along their journey.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly how I relate to it too. Because like I said, with the motivational videos, that's what I was doing it for. I did it for myself, but I didn't realize how receptive it was going to be over time for like other people. And then once I seen that, it just allowed me to keep going in that space. So, once again, like, I salute you off of that. One question I wanted to ask you though, your favorite movies coming up as a child.
Oh, man.
Your favorite movies, man.
Ooh, okay. Man, so many. All right.
It's cool.
Coming to America.
All right.
Harlem Nights.
Okay.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 and 2. 3 was okay. But 1 and 2 was like great. Man. What other ones? I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. If you notice, they're like more like comedies.
Right.
I can watch these up all day long.
Yeah, you got to make yourself laugh.
A serious movie. If I can go one serious movie, Ricochet.
Okay.
If you haven't seen Ricochet, it's an old Denzel movie to me it's a dope movie. It's a dope mental movie. It takes on suspense thriller.
Okay.
Malcolm X, Do the Right Thing. Boomerang. Who's the Man? Like, these are movies I can just watch over and over again.
That's good though.
And The Last Dragon.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. I think the work, if I were to sum up the work that you do in one film, and you're probably gonna be like, man, you heard this before. Coach Carter. And the reason why I say that is because of watching the movie, right? And then just seeing it, not only the film itself, because it's a phenomenal film. I can always watch, that film over again. But to see that in real time.
Yeah.
It's what you guys are doing, right?
Yeah.
I think that it's like, I am a somebody. I felt like I was a nobody, but I'm a somebody, and you're gonna realize that you're a somebody when it's all said and done.
Somebody else.
That's what it was.
The funny part is somebody else said the same thing. They was like, yo, you remind me so much of the movie Coach Carter. And Coach Carter is one of them movies where it's like, I based a lot of stuff off that movie. As far as this, I based some stuff as far as my style of coaching off of Coach Carter. I believe the story was phenomenal, and just the way that he was able to reach young men that society has given up on.
Right.
And they was already even to the point where teachers and principals was like, the principal was like, what I'm saying, they really pretty much didn't, and it could be, I could be wrong. My perception of the movie was, the teachers and principals gave up on these kids. And it was one person that said, the way that this is the way I'm gonna instill in them some skills that I learned along my life that can help them to be better. And a lot of them resisted at first. And you're not going to reach everybody. That's the one thing that I learned too in coaching and in nonprofit and in life. Everybody's not going to understand it.
For sure.
Everybody's not going to understand it or believe in it, and that's okay. But the ones that you reach is, it's something good behind it. And Coach Carter was one of the ones just like, I was like, because one of my best friends, he'd be like, yeah, man, you remind me of Coach Carter, And I'd be like, oh, for real? And we always joke. We made these movie quotes, and we talk about Remember the Titans as well. And he said, man, you remind me of Remember the Titans, Coach Boone from Remember the Titans too. And I think that's just the way of, it's ways of reaching them.
Right, for sure.
So,
I agree, man. Man, we learned a lot today, man.
Yeah, man.
Definitely learned a lot today. So, as far as any motivation that you want to give to the people right now that's watching, man.
Oh, man. First of all, before we go, man, we want to give you your flowers, man.
Appreciate you.
Jay, man, you're doing something phenomenal with this podcast. Keep going, as I told you before, in other platforms. Keep going. You're doing something great. And you have Push4Greatness support.
Appreciate you.
100%.
Appreciate you.
If I can impart some motivation to somebody, it is something that was imparted to me just a while ago in a conversation I had with somebody. Is enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment in the day. Every day you wake up, you get 24 hours. What are you going to do in that 24? You're going to make mistakes along the way in the 24 hours. It's okay. You're not going to be able to appease everybody. But I want you to work and do the things to make you happy. It's brick by brick, and the reason behind brick by brick was the book by Will Smith. And there's a lesson his father taught him about laying the bricks, and you build, you finish the project. And so we told our team to, you look at this building that you're in, look at the gym you're in. It starts with what? It starts with the foundation, and then you build on it brick by brick. Then after a while, you'll see the completed project, the house is completed, the certain situations completed. So it may take longer than what you expect, but every day, make great use of your 24 hours, and that's my motivation.
I appreciate that for sure. I would say, for me, I would just say, like, be the reason that somebody smiles. In a world full of hate, a world full of negativity, it costs absolutely nothing to make somebody smile. So, like, tell somebody, thank you, I appreciate you, I'm rooting for you, I love you, things like that, because, those words of encouragement, that may be everything that they need in that particular moment. Mm-hmm. So let's, strive to encourage other people. And, always remember that our why will be stronger than our what, who, and when. I'm saying that's what I would basically say.
There you go.
I appreciate you, man. Push for greatness. Like I said, Get familiar with Push for Greatness. Like I said, phenomenal work. Shout outs to my brother TJ, you know what I'm saying, for bringing me on board. I appreciate you. We're going to continue to impact our youth, empower our youth, brick by brick, like you say, step by step, and each and every time. Anything that we can do to definitely make sure that that comes to light and support, definitely will. You got Grind Hard, Dream Big support all the way.
Appreciate
you know
it.
that,
Appreciate
man.
you.
So I appreciate this conversation. I hope that people learned a lot. With that being said, the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. The harder you grind, the bigger you dream. And the harder you grind, the bigger you dream. We out.